Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the...
It's movie night with Bill and Lil.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the...
It's movie night with Bill and Lil.
Hey everybody, this is crazy. We're live. We never done anything like this live. I'm Billy D. You know Lil DeVille. I actually...
I'm coming at you as the lady who lunch today. I got my fabulous hat on. I got my cocktail. We're ready.
And I have a new setup. I'm actually streaming in a more private place, and hopefully we can start doing these live events more. It's 8 o'clock, which is weird. We usually film at like 9 o'clock, right, Lil?
Yeah, 9 o'clock. Yeah, that's usually the earliest we film, unless we're filming with the little Miss Dana.
Yeah, that's...
And we film soon, but she's a special occasion. But yeah, you can see I'm at a different area myself right now because my room is currently under renovation. So look forward to that.
I can't wait to
I got
see...
some crazy weather behind me.
She's redoing some stuff, and honestly, we were doing the same project at the same time, and we didn't even know.
Yeah,
like,
it is true.
And we were,
it is true.
The thing was, okay, with same project, that's whatever. We were actually going through store to store looking for the same color of the, same exact color. We're not even lying. It's kind of crazy how much in line.
It literally happened. He's not lying to y'all.
So yeah, this is my new setup right now. It has a little horror, a little DC, a little mix, and yeah, Brokeback Mountain. It's a Heath Ledger sign. That was the one that was available and the cheapest one.
Are we surprised? Are we surprised that Billy has a signed copy of a Brokeback Mountain magazine? I'm not surprised. I mean, we are the ladies who lunch here. We're sipping some tea.
Yeah.
No,
okay. Oh, speaking of tea, we were going through the Saw series, and we were talking about James Wan movies, and little Miss DeVille over there was like, Dead Silence. I'm like...
The hate I have harbored for this movie for years. Because, keep in mind, I'm coming from a place that has only seen the theatrical cut until now. And it's because I saw it when it came out in Blockbuster. That's the only time I watched this film, because when I went to watch it, I tried it once. I couldn't watch it. I couldn't sit through it because it was boring me. And then I tried again, and the same thing kind of happened, and I got the gist of it, and I said, okay, we ain't doing that again. And I was like, it wasn't for me. I thought it was just stupid, it was boring, and it just had nothing to offer. And then Billy decides to be Mr. Billy the D, as he always is, the troll-la-la, and send me for Christmas a copy of Dead Silence unrated, which I have never seen, and I was very thankful for. I was definitely intrigued to get the unrated version in, because, you know, I'm True Cut junkie here. I love anything the True Cut. I watched it, and yeah, I watched it.
Okay,
I got more to say. I'm trying to keep my opinion.
This is a fun thing we can do now. Like, as you were talking, and you're like, "Oh, this is whatever." I don't know if the time's really matching up, but Jonathan said there's ain't nothing wrong with that. So I can actually shout out people now. Woo! And thank you, Jonathan, for showing up on this live.
Here's my friend. I know you may or may not be at work right now, but I'll take a sip for you. This may or may not have more than Calypso in it.
No, and Rob's here too. Rob has to say, "Let's go movie night." So
let's go, Rob.
Let's talk about this real quick. The unrated cut's the only cut that I seen. I tried to go back and watch the original cut, got halfway through it. I fell asleep, and I'm like, fuck it. I'll just watch the unrated cut and watching from beginning. Well, it just... The beginning scene is a little bit better paced and a better shot. You get to see more of the blood seeping out into the ground after she was pushed to the ground. But we'll talk about that in a second. I just want to say...
So since we got some people here before they have to leave, I will say I do enjoy this movie a lot more than I originally did.
Good.
Lot more than I originally did. I mean, I don't feel like it delivered everything I would want out of it, but I thoroughly enjoyed this. I would rewatch this. It has, like, this is one of James Wan's best, like, cinematography-wise, I think. Period, in my opinion.
I completely agree. Like, the vibes I was getting, and not to mention they did something that kind of blew my mind. They desaturated everything. Like... everything and like skin color, everything was gone.
James Wan, and it's everything.
But what he left in, he like color keyed or chroma keyed or whatever. He kept red in, and so every time you see red with the car, with the blood, with everything, that was beautiful. That is artistic perfection, in my opinion.
I'll agree. I agree 110%. I agree.
The music in this movie is better than most of his other flicks. Like, I like the actual score in this, I would say, was better than the Insidious movies. And you know what's crazy? Like, out of John Carpenter, Wes Craven, out of all the filmographies we went through, James Wan is the one we covered pretty heavy. With the Insidious movies, we're doing Saw now. We're doing this movie. What I have to say is this movie is I would say the creme de la creme of what James Wan is preparing to be.
Oh, I mean, see, that's the okay. I'll say that, but I'll say that in reverse. This is what James Wan set his president to be, and now is not. I feel, this is him at his best. The colors are everything I want out of a horror film. The sounds are everything I want out of a horror film. But as of his newest work, it's not going as hard as this did. I don't feel like he's going as hard as he used to with the cinematography and the colors. It's still there. It's just I don't feel like he feels like he has to prove himself anymore. Which is unfortunate because technically he doesn't, but I feel like some of his stuff feels a little bit more commercial than even this does.
I think he would absolutely agree with you. The new Aquaman movie's coming out in theaters, and he directed that movie. And they're asking him about this movie and what future plans is. And every time he talks about it, he's like, I'm ready to get back into horror. I don't think he wants to hop into another Conjuring. It feels like he wants to do something that's his again. And right now what I'm noticing is... Puppet's named Billy. That's like one of his things. I don't know why that's one of his things.
Billy made his encore in this. The puppet.
Yeah, Billy the Jigsaw puppet is in this movie, and then Billy the new puppet is in this movie. That was pretty cool to see both of them. You guys need to keep an eye out. He's kind of hidden, but there's like a big...
Yeah, go ahead.
I was about to say big set piece with all these puppets, and what I hope
it's roughly an hour and 10 minutes in. If you haven't seen the Jigsaw puppet, Billy, or Saw puppet, he's roughly an hour and 10 minutes in.
I was kind of hoping we'd see like the Annabelle doll, because what if he like hints future projects for like all his movies?
You don't see Annabelle, but tell me one of the dolls in this does not scream Annabelle.
See, I thought that too. She was like in the top row, and I paused it, and I was like, that almost looks like Annabelle. Yeah. I was like, that could have been Annabelle. What would have been cool, I hope he makes that clown where she grips around the face. I hope he gets his own movie. What if there was like a killer clown and clown puppet duo that James Wan does?
See, that would be wonderful. And fun fact, you kind of led into this fun fact that there was a sequel planned from this film from the get-go. It was planned even when filming and when prior to release. And then it bombed at box office. And it made literally, from what I found, this could be inaccurate, but from what I found, only $2 million over what it was they paid to make for it. So that is considered a complete bomb of a movie. This made no money. And that's internationally. That's just not domestic. So domestic, this only made $2 million over what it was made for. So, but keep in mind, this was also, like we were going into earlier, we didn't get the true film. There was makers of this film that were very unsatisfied with what happened when the production company had its word, because from what I understand, the creator pitched an idea, not James Wan. There was the writer that he pitched this idea to the production company. They bought it. He wrote it. But by doing so, that gave them the right to edit it however they wanted because they already bought it. So at the end of the day, the film that was released is not the film that he wanted to be seen.
Wasn't the writer Lee Whannell, the guy who plays Specs in Insidious and did Invisible Man? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, he was very dissatisfied with the theatrical cut of this film, and he fought with the production company. But unfortunately, it was a battle he could not win because he did not realize what he signed up for. Fun fact: he now refuses to do contracts the way he did for this film because he doesn't want to screw himself over again. Which I respect him for that.
See, I don't blame him. I totally get that. I felt this movie, the unrated cut at least, was better. It was clear. It was this movie got me more excited for more James Wan movies, and this is at the point where I'm kind of like tuckered out, especially with James Wan Productions. Like, if he's producing the movie, that doesn't mean the movie's going to be good.
I'm not going to give the full blame on James Wan here. You want to know? I think you know where I might be going with this, because there's a big thing trying to happen right now of James Wan and Blumhouse, Jason Blum, trying to make their own production company. I don't agree with this. I don't like this. Jason Blum is I'm not going to go into that. I have a lot of opinions on the way that production company works, but I don't think, other than pocket money wise, it would help James Wan whatsoever going into business with Blumhouse, because they're not going to do a single thing with allowing him to express the darkness and grittiness that he likes to express, for example, in this that got cut out, in all the Saw films he was involved with that got cut out, you know? That's what he's there for, and I will respect the fact that he probably just doesn't go as hard because he knows even if he does, it's probably going to be cut out anyway. And it's an unfortunate fact for cinema, you know? We don't get a lot of the stuff that was meant to be seen just because there's a lot of other people in control of it, when art shouldn't be that way, you know?
Yeah, I completely agree. If anything, I feel like more studios should be more open to indie films, especially how they've been thriving at box office lately. From what I read, a couple of indie films are actually going to change the way they do films. And I see you clapping, little Miss A24 member, but guess what?
Yes.
I feel a shift in the A24 realm. Are you feeling it? This is my prediction. Before you know it, A24 film is going to look more at what can get them more Oscars, what can get them more commercialized. So that doesn't mean they're going to become a bad film production company. What they're going to be is more hands-on. And that's the thing that I'm in fear of, is I don't want more hands-on. I want more artistic vision with the directors.
I respect that. And based on past evidence with companies, that's how it would go. But I will say most recently, Has-Been Hotel has gotten a series, and it's years this pilot has been out, and I've adored it, and my niece has adored it. She showed it to me. The trailer finally dropped for the series that got picked up by A24. Not only did they get Broadway performers in for the songs and the grade A+ actors for the voice actors, they also allowed the original YouTube creator of the show to post the trailer and gain benefit from that trailer. So I will give A24 that, because if this was Lionsgate, if this was Universal, they'd be putting it on their YouTube channel, making the sense. But no, I will give it to A24 that they did that. So it gives me hope. And yes, I do realize that's a possibility, and I fear it too. But I'm hoping A24 is really one that sticks there and really lies with indie cinema.
as long as they stick the landing, I don't care. But I want more artistic vision with directors
I do
from here on out.
I do.
Uh,
I do.
let's
Yep.
let's shift back real quick. What did you think about the acting in this movie?
I like the acting. I didn't think anything was absolutely cringy. I mean, there's a couple things here and there that aren't like overtly like Oscar worthy, but it's nothing like that made me giggle. I mean, if you see me looking to the side, it's because there's the movie playing right in front of me because I'm switched up and I had it playing.
So if you see me looking down, it's just trying to see who comments and stuff. Ann T, good friend of the show, comment. Hey, great movie. But for me, I felt like our main protagonist, he could be dead on and I could be with him through and through, but then he makes A, dumb decisions, or B, his line delivery can be off sometimes. And
he's kind of like an actor like Kristen Stewart in the sense that he's one of those actors that you believe what he's giving, but at the same time, he doesn't give anything more in the sense that he gives just enough to make it believable, but he doesn't bring any oomph to it, so it can fall flat. I think.
That's the thing. The oomph is what's missing. So I'm going to drop True Blood in here. I liked him in True Blood, but I felt like a lot of his scenes was missing the oomph that they were needing for his character to truly develop.
I agree. I mean, car scene is playing in the background right now, and yeah, like there's definitely certain things that he could have done better here and there, but I mean, I've seen a lot worse. Trust me.
Donnie Wahlberg, another Saul connection that we can put here.
I adore that man. He is sexy. He is daddy. I don't care. I don't know what it is about him. I know he's just one of those normal guys, but for some reason, he's just so sexy. And even when he's an asshole, I still think he's sexy.
You could say he has the right stuff. Do you even get the reference? I did this in a previous Saul pod. Do you get that reference?
No, I don't.
He was on the New Kids on the Block. The New Kids on the Block. The band. And they sing a song, The Right Stuff.
Not me. I was in heavy metal and rock.
The joke fell flat on that, and then you see me sit back and really bummed out. I had to do it again.
My sister's gonna be yelling at me because she's gonna be like, "Oh my god, she didn't get that reference."
Finally, I didn't think I'd ever get that off my chest, but I'm happy I did. But
oh my god,
the quirk that he has, where every scene he's in the mirror shaving. Like, he has to have a smooth face. Yeah. I'm like, I wonder if that was his decision or was that a director's decision? Like, why?
I don't know, because he even asks the doll at one point, like, how do you do it? How do you get so smooth? Like, I just can't do it. Because he's, like, constantly, even when he eventually dies in the film, his razor falls down and you just see it go off.
See, I honestly don't think his death should have been like the way it was. And it was a cheating death, too. Because
I will agree.
Because the poem is, if you scream at Mary Shaw in a dream, then she'll get your tongue. He didn't scream at her. He was falling to his death. Yeah, that was cheap.
I just don't like how it was like, boom. In the sense that he falls into the dark and then it's done. And that's one of the main things that I like about this whole like process with Mary Shaw. You don't see what happens, you just see the jump cuts and then it's done. I just wish we saw a little bit more of the process because the mouth gouging and the way she goes about taking their tongue is so good. You do see the process in the unrated version towards the end, but I wish you saw like a little bit more of like the cheek splitting or the jaw cracking or something like that, you know?
I loved the whole thing with her. In fact, I really love the scenes where she's with the dad and how she's always by the side. Because on second rewatch, I didn't see that part coming. But seeing that happen and how like she's like whispering the lines too. So you see the throat moving at the very beginning of the movie. I'm like, oh my god, that's so good. That is so good. I wonder if she only got the script and she was reading his parts too. And
it's very possible. It's very possible. Fun fact that I just realized before filming this with you, because I was looking stuff up. I didn't even realize this when I watched it. Even originally. Till a couple, like, let's say an hour ago, I didn't realize this. The puppet itself is not possessed. It was never possessed. She was just that big of a professional that it looked like he was. So that scene with the flashback where it seems like he's possessed, he's not. James Wan has come out to confirm this. The only time the puppet gets possessed is after she has passed and it's her possessing the doll. So there is no entity in that doll other than her after she passes. So all that nefariousness, all that creepiness is from that one woman doing their voices.
And I would definitely watch another sequel if it came out and she was still in it, because she's still young enough to play Mary Shaw. Yep. They can seriously make another one if they wanted to.
It was originally planned, and if they didn't try to PG-13 it like they did with this one, I think it would have been successful, I think they may have tried to play it on the younger audience because, in the sense, prior to this, the biggest ventriloquist dummy horror that I can think of in modern times, for my generation at least, was in Goosebumps. So maybe they thought they had something with younger audience.
See, this is my correlations with why it was PG-13. You see movies like Urban Legend and Bloody Mary and all those movies go into theaters. They wanted to market something that was urban legend-y or was like the Mary Shaw poem, like, ooh, these will scare kids, like Candyman, da-da-da-da-da. And then boom.
Well, look at Stay Alive. Stay Alive came around the same exact time this film did, and it's very like this. When I was watching this film, I said, this feels so much like Stay Alive. But it has the same kind of color tone. But that one bombed too. And why? It got the PG-13 treatment, and we didn't get the original cut in theaters. It didn't get appreciated until we saw the unrated version. It's an unfortunate thing that happens. You'd think after all this time, filmmakers or production, it's not the filmmakers. You would think production companies would realize they would make more money in the long run making a controversial film than they will making a film that makes the mass audience happy. It's not clicking to them. I don't know why.
Well, we have to start showing them with money. If people stop showing up to see mediocre films, and wait
until Terrifier 3 comes out on next Halloween. Wait until it comes out because it's being independently released. See how much coin that film makes, and see how quickly independent films get thrown into theaters. Bloody Disgusting's already started to do it. I didn't like The Outwarders, but they put that in theaters. They put another one in theaters this year. Forgive me, I don't remember the name, but I saw it and their title played before. So Bloody Disgusting's been pushing the indie horror into theaters. I love that.
Oh, like Onyx the Fortuitous and The Talisman of Souls.
Yes, they did. They did. They helped them out. That was cool when I went to see that movie to see them. I was like, oh, shit.
See, we need to do a pod, and hopefully that would be a good one.
You want to get Ginger on the pod? Ask him to do Onyx, because I know that man was hype as heck to see that movie. I mean, Shane House of Horror loved that movie. I'm pretty sure Andrew liked that movie a lot. So there's plenty of people.
And I heard Rob Loves Horror loves Onyx of the Fortuitous. He can't get over with how great that movie was. He says it better win Oscars. Best makeup and costume design. That was his favorite part.
It's not a true statement. As Rob's friend, I am going to stick up for him.
And as Rob's best friend, they got him a Christmas present this year. He loves it. It's the best.
You're claiming best friend because you got him an A? Would you like to know the size of the box I have to send this man?
And how many delayed birthdays and Christmases and past events? I swear we did like 20 pods since you sent that. You could have sent that box.
How dare you? I've sent him something already. I've sent him multiple things already, actually. Probably 2 things, but I still have a whole box to send him. Also, there's a couple others.
And I send him my love and best wishes every night, and I know he gets it. So let's move on. There's a couple of comments here. Don't mess with Ryan Kennedy, the main guy. I mean, I guess I don't want to mess with him. He's not that great, so why would I? Jonathan.
I don't.
Jonathan put popcorn emojis. He did agree with very similar to Stay Alive, and didn't get a 4K owned because Disney partially owns it. Ooh, yes. Disney partially owns what?
You didn't know that? Sorry that I can't see the comments right now, my friends. Next time I'll have my computer set up and ready so I can see. I'm filming it on my phone because I don't have a proper mic right now because it broke. But yeah, Disney owns the company that released Stay Alive, and that's why it will never get an upgraded version or Blu-ray or 4K. It never even got a Blu-ray. It has a DVD copy only, and that is it. There's a blue copy, which is the theatrical, and a red copy, which is the unrated, and that is all it's ever gotten. It's very sad.
I mean, I got the blue or DVD copy, and I enjoyed it quite fine. I mean,
well, see, I've had this discussion. Go ahead. Yeah, but I've had that discussion, and a couple people have said that they kind of don't want the Blu-ray because the grittiness with it kind of helps it. But go ahead.
Jonathan's just saying, even trolling the viewers with the laughing emoji, that just makes my day. No, Stay Alive.
I am a walking laughing emoji, okay?
So what are some of the best deaths in the scene? Or this movie? Yeah, sorry.
I think, honestly, none of the deaths stick out other than the beginning one with his wife. Because she gets yeeted. That woman gets yeeted. No, me, like, I'm watching, I'm like, oh, she wants to have a baby with him. Eats across the room. I was like, okay, I'll see you, doll.
See, I thought that was crazy, because I was like, there's no way that this would be as brutal as it was, and it turned out to be. The mouths, like, kind of terrified me, like the overextension of the mall, and seeing them in photos.
I love that. I also found out that apparently Anne is a huge fan of this film. She let me know that I haven't seen behind the scenes yet, but all of it is practical except for the middle, which was CGI and green screen. So in the practical effects, right in the middle is a green screen circle, so they did CGI right in the middle, but all of it is practical other than that.
For the death of Henry, that was my favorite. Just because, like, well, you have a heart for Henry. Henry's the only guy in town that was willing to talk about this. And then, like, like Big Dum Dum, you know the stories, you know everything, you know that she can do whatever she wants.
I was worried for his wife originally because it seemed like when the doll was talking to her, or Mary was talking to her, that she was like, because she was along the lines of, I didn't say anything. So I was worried for her. So it's kind of a shock that he got it opposed to her, you know?
See, do you know this fact? If not, I'm going to ask. I think Anne's still watching. Have you seen The Princess Bride?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
The guy with the nasally sounding nose, like he sound the Billy puppet. Is that the same voice?
Oh.
He was in Young Sheldon. He was in everything. He sounds like this, and like. I thought that was.
No.
If not, that was a really cool. That was a dead-on impression. If that was an impression, but that's who I thought it was while watching this. I'm like, damn, that was a. So you're trolling the viewers. The grittiness makes it so good. They're saying the grittiness makes it so good. Anne and Rob.
Yes, the grittiness in the film definitely makes it excellent. I think that's why I appreciate it more now watching it on Blu-ray as well. Because unlike some Blu-rays that over-clears, the grayness and the blue tones of this film, it gets so like enhanced with the Blu-ray because it has that slight blue tinge, and it works so perfectly for the colors that they chose for this. Because even red, if you know color theory, blue enhances red so well. And like, I think this was meant for Blu-ray, honestly, with the colors that they chose.
See, the flashbacks in this too, also, like the way that they make it look old-fashioned-y and like old film, I appreciate it. I love the cinematography and like the vision that was put into this movie.
The transitions in this film. You know I'm a stickler for transitions. I hate blunt transitions. It happens all the time. But, like, when he gets into town and it transfers from the sign to the bridge he's going onto and back to him, and it's like that animated transfer, it's gorgeous.
Oh, he does do the voice. And Rati, I can't say his last name. So, no, and got us on that one.
So it's all on you.
I know. That's awful. I suck at pronouncing things. But, with the transition where like you see her dead in the bed and you see his eye, like it goes into his eye and then fades out and then he's crying. I'm like, oh God. That was so good.
Eyeball transitions are excellent. You know, it's like, this is, as we were saying, this is peak James Wan. Like, God, if people would go this hard with transitions in every film, like, because when you have a blunt transition in a film, whether it's a comedy or a horror film, it kind of almost detracts from it because it feels unrealistic. When you have something that swooshes or comes from an eye to another eye, and it's like, it feels more genuine and realistic and like artistic instead of just like blunt cut, you know?
Sorry, I'm double checking my facts. Anne says he voices the maggot in the Corpse Bride.
Oh, I love the maggot in Corpse Bride. He's my favorite because he's so sassy.
He is.
I love it so much. And also, I got a text message from Miss Ann. Thank you. I love this tattoo.
Yep.
I got a Goodwill, $3.99, baby.
Definitely not the person from what I was thinking of. Damn. But no.
Oh, it happens all the time.
He's a great voice actor. He actually does a voice in Tintin. That was one of my favorite movies. Like, I saw that in IMAX as a kid.
I know this title, but I don't think I ever watched it.
I think Peter Jackson was just a huge fan of those movies, and my grandmother knew I liked The Lord of the Rings, and that's why I seen it. But that's a story for a different day.
No, I mean, going into this though, because fun fact, if we did not know, another fact that film's #1 fan gave me, the theater that was built for this, that we see in this, did you know they built that theater from scratch just to deteriorate it right after? Every time you see the theater in this film, they built that from ground up.
See,
so yeah, go ahead.
I was kind of hoping that was the case because if you remember Pearl and
if I remember Pearl, Maxine is my most anticipated film. Do I remember Pearl? No, I've never heard of the thing.
Well, I just love set designs that you see the beauty of the before, the everything, the grand of it. You actually see people sitting in the seats, and then you see our main protagonist running up and down, like moving chairs, kicking it, like as if this was nothing. This was just an empty shell. Like it wasn't filled with life. Like no audience came there to actually watch things unfold. You know, I love movies that actually show the grandeur of sets and then the deteriorations and why it's still there.
I agree. I mean, Phantom of the Opera kind of did that, you know. I mean, it's not in the horror realm, but I really liked how they did that with Phantom, and it goes into what you're talking about, you know, like with the Opera House.
I feel like Phantom of the Opera is really, like, has heavy ties to the horror realm. It may not be scary,
it definitely
but
does, especially like the original black and whites.
Yeah, I feel like that gets looped in with Universal monster movies all the time.
Oh, heck yeah.
If anything, I feel like that's on the box set. Like, that would be in a box set.
Boris Karloff,
Boris Karloff.
Yeah, he was the original Phantom, and he was like, terrifying for the time. Like, people were terrified
Can,
just looking at him. It was like the Jason Voorhees effect.
can you name the iconic slasher that played the Phantom in Phantom of the Opera?
Reword that for me.
Okay. There was a movie directed by Halloween's 4, I forget his name's director. He made Phantom of the Opera. He hired a slasher, an iconic slasher, to play the Phantom.
In which one?
It's called Phantom of the Opera. It came out, I believe, in the 90s, but I could be wrong. Let me double check.
I don't think I've seen that one. The only one from the 90s I've seen is the animation. That was a horror animation that I adored as a kid.
Was it Gerard Butler in the 2006 movie?
Yeah, see, like that's like, I like that one. I'm sorry, but I do.
No, I like that one too. I think I got made fun of by my dad for watching that one night.
I mean, I got made fun of all the time for watching that movie. But at the end of the day, it's like nobody really appreciates opera anymore, and it's kind of sad because it's one of the most emotional and heartbreaking and like artistic singing forms out there.
So he did play the Phantom. I was right. It was Robert Englund.
Remember this because, okay, I was in line at Horror Hound when Billy yeeted out on me. I was in line with Roxy, his wife. I was talking to somebody that dressed up, a female that dressed up like Freddy, and she told me that's what she was going to talk to him about when she got up there. Because Billy came back eventually, but when we were there, yeah, she was talking about that because she really adored that, and she could not find it on physical at all. Like, she could not find it at all on physical, and she really wanted it, so she was going to ask to see if he knew where to find it.
Yeah, so Halloween 4 director did direct that. Of course, he got Robert Englund back to, what was it, Betty Knox? Or I forget the movie already. It's the biggest letdown of this year. Robert Englund, Bill Moseley, and Daniel Harris came together to make a new slasher movie that each one gets little screen time for. Bill Moseley was really good in that, but it doesn't...
It's not screaming out to me. I should know this immediately.
Oh, Natty Knox. Wait. I said it as if I knew it, as if it came to my head. It didn't come to my head. It was something Knox. No, it was Natty Knox. I was right again, kind of.
No, you're fine. No, I haven't seen that one, which is surprising because that cast screams everything to me. I love Bill Moseley. That man scares me.
Let's actually talk about the theater a little bit more.
We're gonna actually talk about the movie.
I know. The theater a little bit more. Let's just talk about the detective and them going through that little maze. I thought what was kind of fucked up was, remember, don't scream. And then he walks in the maze, takes 2 steps, and then he waits for him. I'm like, dude, dramatic for dramatic's sake, am I right? Like, you're not gonna walk.
They did my detective dirty. He might have been an asshole, but he was so sexy. He didn't deserve to go out.
He was the only one with the gun, and I'd like.
Yeah. I want to say too, I think the mortuary scene with the older guy when he is finding his wife underneath, like in the where the crawl space, you know, and he thinks his wife is in the crawl space because she was there prior. That scene was a really good scene to me. It made me feel bad. I know you hated seeing him go. I hated seeing him go. He was a sweet guy, and I don't feel like he deserved to die. But it was a creepy scene for me because, like, having said puppets don't scare me or dummies, certain shots in this with his eyes cocked, I don't know what it is. He's like, I want to kick him and I want to eat him because he looks like he's gonna murder me.
The eyes, not only his eyes, but that whole eye scene in the theater where they're all looking. I'm like,
yeah.
Well, the thing is, it was just so many of them, and it was slowly going and going. They were speeding up. Like, this is kind of terrifying. If it was me, I wouldn't be waiting and watching. I would be sprinting out the freaking door.
Yep, 100% though. 100% though.
Another thing is why? Why does what was it? Mary Shaw talk a lot? Why does she even tell them the origin story? Why does she even care to tell the protagonist why she's doing the things she's doing. Like, I felt like that was most of her scenes. It's just to let him know everything.
I think it's one of those things where it's kind of the concept with Freddy in Freddy versus Jason. If the memory dies, the spirit dies, and there's no access to the realm of the real world.
Well, that's the
and
thing.
Maybe if they forget her name, you know.
It's gonna die anyway. She kills him anyways.
I that's true. I think it's a movie about vengeance. You know, I think she was just a vengeful spirit, and she had hell to pay, and she paid it.
Yeah. Well, it's just like usually she lets the line live on, and so if the girl was pregnant and had a baby, and then that kid grows up a bit, and then she kills her parents, and like it would just make sense to let the line live on. That's why she's talking. That's why she's giving lore. But no, it just dies there, and then she closed the book, and then I'm like, okay. So as
well, you got to keep in mind too. There's a very significant player in this movie that we get no explanation for either, which is I like the character because she plays it well, but the father's new wife. We don't know where she came from, who she is, or why she's doing what she's doing. We just know at the end of the day that she's a player in Mary's game. Why? We don't know. Maybe if we continued on, that could have been her daughter. That could have been her granddaughter. Who knows who that could have been? And I'm dying to know who she was.
I thought that was just a real life Mary Shaw.
I don't think so. I don't think so because it could have been. Maybe I'm misinterpreting. Maybe she was possessing her. I don't know. But I felt like that was like a descendant. But then again, as I was saying, we don't get where she's coming from. Because as we know in the end, she's controlling the father this whole entire time.
See, and I thought that was beauty. And seeing the pictures in the book of how she was plotting that, that's some jigsaw mind fuckery. Yeah. Like, this is the perfect, trap. This is the perfect puppet. This is so good.
It's insane. It's insane. Like, and because keep in mind, I've seen this before, and I didn't see it coming this turnaround because it's been that long since I've seen it. And I was like, because the two big shockers for me were that and the fact that she was pregnant. Because I didn't get that in the beginning. I thought she just wanted to have a baby with him. I didn't get she was actually pregnant. And that's why she killed her, because the descendant was in the belly. Which I was like, oh, oof. And the bleeding from the mouth, it makes it even more harsh.
Even more real.
Like, oh, God, no.
This is one of the movies that I think benefits from an actual rewatch, a year or two later. Yeah. Just because after you see shit being done and you have that eye out looking for it, it's just a lot more fun trying to pick things up.
And I see why younger me hated this film. It's very slow in certain ways, and it's very story-based. It's not very in-your-face. And young me was not about that. I was a gore girl from the start. I liked very in-your-face horror. Though I appreciated horror, like ghost stories, this was not something young me would have enjoyed. Now, as a film buff, I adore every ounce of the cinematography. It has a lot of pluses. Is this my favorite film? Do I love this film? No, but it's something I would rewatch and I do enjoy.
As a James Wan study, watching James Wan films and seeing who he became. Yeah, I liked it a lot. Go
ahead.
And sprinkled in when we were talking about why she was giving him all that information, and said wanted him to suffer with the knowledge of knowing he could have been a dad. Mary made her. That's who. Oh, Mary made her. That's who the sketch in the book was. How to construct a perfect doll.
So she's her creation. Possessing her. Holy shit.
There we go. See, there's a benefit to doing these lives now. There we go. Let's add this to the check mark of why we should do more lives.
Thanks, man.
Because
Thanks a lot, Ann.
look, do you know what would have happened since we talked about this? Like after the pod,
Hold on.
yeah, after the pod, I'd probably just go to sleep and forget that I even had that question. But now this realization, now that's gonna stick with me every time I watch this movie.
Thanks, Ann.
Thanks, Anne.
No, but that's cool. That's good to know. That's good to know because I wanted to know some backstory on her. I really like that. It kind of leaves it a little less open ended. Because that was one of the main parts that made me feel like this was set up for a sequel. I always felt like it was because even like back in this time of horror film, it wasn't traditional to have a sad ending. Because I remember in like the early 2000s, late 90s, there was a time where I knew our main character wouldn't die in a film because they stopped doing it. There was always a survivor, and it got boring and predictable after a while being a horror junkie. And all of a sudden, good people started dying in films again, and people that shouldn't die did, and they realized that gave shock factor. And I like that this ends on not such a happy note because it's something uniquely different, and it's something more plausible than a random guy that didn't know about this until just a couple days ago winning the battle. Mary Shaw has had how long to prepare for this? Of course she's going to win.
See, I completely agree. I just wish the protagonist got the information himself. Like he investigated, and it was like a better results because he investigated for it rather than being told. But seeing him like not even win, and then Mary like closing the book, I'm like, that's a great ending because it had him as the doll, had the family as the doll. It was a perfect family photo. Boom. Page turner.
Yep.
And I love it. This movie, it was my wife's favorite movie. She showed me this. I put this in a scavenger hunt for her when we were like being really cutesy wootsy. I know.
I know our girl Haley, Sean's girlfriend from the Creepy Camp Boys, that's on TikTok, loves this movie. It's one of her faves. She adores it too. A lot of people really love this movie, and I respect them for that because it has a lot of good points. It has a lot of good moments. It's definitely creepy at times. It has really cool shots. I keep going back to this scene because I think it might be my favorite, but that scene with the guy underneath, like in the storage, there's a shot where like one side you see Mary Shaw with her tongue, and then right on the other side of the screen you see his eyeball and a light going up against it, and you see his reaction to what she's about to do to him. And it's so unique and so different but effective. It's like stuff like that. It's like, this is what I want out of cinema. It's something new.
Well, I also wrote down, I didn't get to talk about it, kid puppet. I think it's cool that you actually see her make a kid puppet.
That actual like human-made puppet out of that kid was awesome. Like the eyes made it for me, and just like the overall like grotesqueness of the eyes and the prosthetics. It was
honestly, that like little voyage with the cop and the main guy, beautiful. I like that little
It was
scene.
a lot of fun.
Yeah. So
it has a fun climax.
I'm happy you liked your Christmas present. I'm happy you enjoyed
I have
it.
another one that I haven't opened yet, which I wanted to open for quite some time. All I know is Mama DeVille said, "Thank you, Billy," when she checked it for me. The only horror movie that I know Mama DeVille likes is Scream or Halloween H2O. If it's not either of those, this mofo might have got me Die Hard based on when he got robbed. I don't know. We shall see. Time will tell.
I thought The Abyss was a horror movie.
Oh, yeah, I forgot The Abyss, too. The Abyss, too.
So
she adores The Abyss, so it could be The Abyss. I don't know.
It just came out with a 4K. Probably not an actual hard copy, but maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Who knows? Who knows? I do. They don't. I can't wait. Christmas is coming soon. Christmas is, in fact, around the corner, and 'tis the season for giving. And we gave this movie a shot. I say it's one of the better films. What would you say?
I will say it's one of the better James Wan films, though it could use with more grotesqueness. And yeah, I think it has a very unique aesthetic. It has a fun concept. The main character is fun. She's nefarious. She's effective, and I would have loved to seen a sequel that was more appealed to an adult audience.
Yep, I mean, a lot worse movies got sequels, so hopefully there's still hope.
Yeah, this came out in '07. I think our time's up, my dear.
No, there's a lot of movies that came out with poorly timed sequels, like Dumb and Dumber 2.
You're really gonna say Dumb and Dumber 2 and say that was a good movie compared to the first one?
I didn't say it was a good movie. I'm just saying they came out
That's
like
what
20
I'm
years
saying.
later.
We need a good sequel.
Jesus. Anyways,
I'm picky, damn it. I want a good sequel.
that was our live episode. Want to do a game?
Hold on, yeah, you're in control of the game, butthead. I did it last time.
All right. Let's actually go to the comments.
Okay. Oh, is there enough people here to pick the movies for us?
There's 4 people here. The first one that gives me a subject like slasher, ghost, Christmas, any topic. Whoever wants to throw out a topic.
Come on, give him something that I'm gonna like.
Musicals.
Give him something
Musicals.
Did somebody who said musicals?
No, I'm hoping it's musicals. I don't know.
Oh, I like musicals, so.
Yeah, there's a slight delay. There's 4 people in here, so who knows? I'll give it another 6 seconds, or if not, I'm just picking movies. I know. I can't wait. This was a really good live episode. Anne came in with it. Oh crap. No, I'll do Christmas slashers. I'll do those 2.
What did she say?
Anne says Christmas horror, which is one of my favorite topics
we'll
to
do
talk
Christmas
about.
horror.
Rob also
love
says
that. Thank you.
slasher.
Okay.
So let's.
So Christmas slasher.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do Christmas slasher horrors.
Okay.
So you'd know I don't. Oh, so you can't read the comments. I'm gonna write down all the movies.
Oh yeah, guys, gals, non-binary pals. If you want to give Billy suggestions, I can't see the comments right now, so feel free to throw them out. Keep in mind, I have not finished It's a Wonderful Knife, so please don't put that on the list yet. Thank you.
Better.
Mm-hmm.
And
Y'all mofos are gonna do me dirty.
so
Y'all mofos are gonna do me dirty.
I put 4 in there. I need 1 more.
Well, Billy, you choose one.
Well, no, I put 4 in there. I'm trying to get 1 more from like an audience reacts.
I can give you one, but it would be unfair.
I know. Oh, I'm just hoping that like this is pretty cool. Oh, there we go. I got my 5th one. First one I put down Santa Slay. Slay. Have you ever seen it?
Yes. Not for quite some time, but yes, I have seen. Is that the one with Fran Drescher and Vanessa Gayheart?
Yes. Well, at the very beginning.
Okay, I'm gonna put that at. God, I kind of want to put it at 2, but I'm gonna put it at 3. I enjoyed that one.
See, I'm going to my notes real quick because I didn't bring a pen and paper. So 2, Santa Slay.
I'll put that at 3. I said I want to put it at 2.
Oh.
Don't screw me up. I'll
Sorry,
put that at 3.
sorry. 3. Okay. Better watch out.
Oh, 2. That little fucker. He's like literally the miniature American Psycho. I love that film.
Black Christmas, the original.
What's gonna come after this, though? Because I have 4, 5, and 1. One.
Oh, Black Christmas, the original one.
I swear to God, if the first remake's on here, I'm gonna be so mad. Go ahead.
What was the next one? Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Oh, my niece was calling me. I didn't hear that one. Go ahead.
Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Ooh.
You have 4 and 5. 5?
5. Yeah.
And then number 4, your last slot is Krampus.
That's perfect. because I actually like Krampus over Silent Night, Deadly Night.
See,
Probably would switch one of those, but I feel like I would get slapped in the face by the horror community, so I'm not going to say it.
see, I'm happy Santa Slays was kind of up there on your list. I really like Santa Slay. Better Watch Out,
yeah.
I would say would probably be my number one, though. Black Christmas is great. Like, don't get me wrong. But Better Watch Out has probably one of the best third
my
acts
God.
I've ever seen.
Better Watch Out. That young actor is one of the best child actors that I've ever seen in that with that performance alone. But Black Christmas to me is one of those that even though the first time I watched it wasn't my favorite, rewatched it as a film buff. There's something about that movie that changed cinema, and so many different movies used elements from, and I don't think horror would have been the same without it, honestly. Like the POV shots, the calls on the phone, like, I'm gonna kill you.
See,
And just hang
and
up.
that's
you know?
just Christmas movie practice for A Christmas Story. Like, he was just getting in the Christmas mood. So, I'm just kidding.
Oh, controversial opinion. I don't like the Christmas Story, but we'll move on. We'll move on. We're not going to talk about that. We'll move on.
Jeez. All right, this was it. Before we go, I would love to know, did you guys love doing these live episodes? Should we do more? Should a new podcast take this on as its identity? I don't know.
Let us know, yo-ho.
So, well, I seriously like the audience interaction. It's nice seeing Anne, Rob, John, and everybody just interacting here. And I'm looking back, I didn't miss anybody. The people that commented, we love you. It was great having you. And
Thank you for joining us. I truly appreciate all of you.
so I'm just letting it go a few more seconds just in case if they get there. So I should have, like,
Yeah, they're
like
on
little
about
waves.
a 50-second delay about that.
Yeah. Oh, yep. We got to the part where.
Oh, clown puppet. I forgot to mention the clown puppet. He kind of looked like Pennywise, but the clown puppet that looked like Pennywise, the original Pennywise. He's near the end. I liked him.
See, I wonder if he was supposed to get a spinoff, and then that never materialized.
I mean, God only knows. I mean, there was so many to pick from.
All right. Well, no new comments are coming in, so I think.
Alrighty, I think we're good.
Oh, Ann said fun episode. I'll take that as a win.
Alrighty.
All right. Until next time, everybody.
Cheers.